My name is Marcin Krajewski and you're watching Poland Daily Culture. And today we have a fascinating character with us in the studio, an orchestra man, Marcin Krajewski. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello, it's a big pleasure to be here.
And right now it's hard for me to introduce you a little bit because you are a former ballet dancer, a choreographer, sort of musician, an author of lyrics, and moreover an actor. So a lot of things combined in one career. Tell us, how did you end up being a ballet dancer?
It's actually a nice story. I used to be actually in a music school playing piano, but I was such an energetical kid that I was not able to stay in one place more than a few minutes. And when you are in music school, you have to sit and practice and practice and practice. And for me to stay 1 hour in front of the piano was almost impossible. So it was a nightmare, and for me and for my parents. And I remember one friend of my mother said to her, "Why don't you give him to ballet school? So then he will spend all his energy there, and then at home he will be calm." And then my mother thought, okay, that's a good idea. And that's how I ended up in ballet. I was for 1 year in ballet school in Warsaw when I was 10 years old, but I'm not from Warsaw, so the distance was a problem. So my parents took me out of the school. I come back to the music school, but then 2 years later, it came the same idea with the same reasons why I should come back to the ballet. So then I came back to Poznań ballet school with age 14. And
so your peers already knew much more than you.
Yeah, and normally there is a selection in this year.
Yes.
Because this is 5 years of ballet school already. And the kids which were not really talented enough to go on with study of ballet, normally in this year which I enter are being selected. So
cut out.
They said to my parents, it's your responsibility. If during 1 year he will not get to the level of the school, then he will have to leave. And it was a risk, but then it happened that I stayed.
You were talented enough.
I stayed, and then I started to win prizes, and the school started to send me to competitions. And in the end of ballet school, I won, I believe, all the prizes which you can win in Poland. It was many prizes, and still won the first prize in the ballet competition in Gdańsk. And because of that, they chose me to take part in Eurovision. It was a very prestigious thing, and everybody was dreaming about to get there. I got to the finals. Final was transmitted in the TV in whole Europe, just because I was in Eurovision and it was in TV. I got 5 or 6 propositions from around the world. I remember it was, for example, Berlin, Amsterdam, Paris, and some others. I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But I chose Paris.
So what happened later?
Yeah, so I got in this company in France, which was for young dancers, was J'aime Ballet de France. That was the name of the company, which was collecting the most talented young dancers around the world and preparing a repertoire and then traveling around the world with that. I remember they showed us the video of the choreography, which I learned pretty fast, but the video was from far, so I couldn't see the interpretation of the dancer, which was on the video. So I invented my own interpretation of the piece. And after which, I don't know, 1-2 weeks later, came the choreographer to choose the cast. And he asked us to present what we prepared. And he told me, like, okay, I like it, your version, you can do it the way you do, but everybody else had to do the original. So it was very lucky for me because I was able to naturally do my own improvisation, which came out more natural, and also to the way public was taking it. In the end of the season, in this company, we had, because we had pretty nice tour in United States, in Dominican Republic, in Puerto Rico, and Spain, Caribbean Islands. And then in the end of the tour, we landed in Paris and we had the last 3 shows in Champs-Élysées.
And you see a poster of a golden dancers or something like this.
Yeah,
the
it's
stars.
Gala of Stars.
The
Yeah,
Gala
which
of
was
Stars.
supposed to happen 3 months later, but I had already contract in a company in Germany, so I was like, I won't see it, and it was the names which I only knew from VHS tapes, which we were watching in school and then studying, putting,
Every moment, what happened,
yeah,
what he
step
did.
by step, clip by clip. And there was this one dancer, Carlos Acosta, a Cuban ballet star. I think at this point, in these times, he was like the top. And it was my dream to see him live. And I was very sad that I will miss the gala, but well, live. And what happened later, that when I was already in Germany, somebody called me asking if I'm the Marcin Krajewski who danced in Champs-Élysées 3 months before. Because they remember me, they are organizers of this gala, and Carlos Acosta is injured, and if I could come to replace him. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, everybody knew I wanted to see this gala so much, so I was sure it's a joke and somebody is playing with me. But it happened to be true. And the gala was the next day.
Oh, that's a little bit difficult.
During one night, we had to make everything happen with my direction, that they let me go, buy the tickets, arrive, do the stage lighting and rehearsal, and the same day it was the gala. And what happened again, that I received overwhelming applause, yes, and the reviews which I had, it was... The name was the Ballet Stars and Outsider. And in the review was said, Polish guy, young guy, 19 years old, who is replacing Carlos Acosta, was not planned in the gala before, eclipsed the stars of Mariinsky and Bolshoi. So that was my first review of this kind of
And all the
galas.
Russians wanted to eat you alive.
So after that, I started to have invitations everywhere, in New York and Japan and all over Europe, and it was never-ending, kind of this dream come true, like a fairy tale story.
So, I mean, so I would say all the time when you hear such beautiful story, a question is, of course, what's the trigger? What's the trick? Where is the price to pay for it?
What happened? I got a contract in the huge company in Berlin when I was 21. And of course, I got a soloist very fast and same obsessed with being, with doing this what I do the best I can. And unfortunately, I started to have some problems with my feet. And of course, I had some important shows, some other invitations, and I didn't want to lose them. So I went to the doctor, you have to make me dance.
And he wanted to make you dance?
And he gave me these shots of steroids, which I found it out later, you can receive not more than 3 in your life in one place, and I received 5 during 3 months.
In one row?
Yeah, and this kind of destroyed my feet. And later on, I was lucky enough to find a great physiotherapist which helped me come back, but it took 1 year and a half to come back. But half year after that, during the gala in Japan, it happened. During the show, I was making some series of jumps and my Achilles tendon just broke, which I found it out later on. It's because of the injections as well, because the injections made my feet so weak that the tendon had to work triple to manage all these evolutions, and stuff. So at one point, it just didn't resist anymore and just broke. I think it's one of the worst injuries which you can get in ballet, because it's very, if not one of the strongest and important tendons in the body.
Well, this is the price that all the ballet dancers very often have to pay. So when you're watching someone dance, remember how much energy, but also what's the price they are paying to look so beautiful. And again, thank you very much for watching Pearl on Daily Culture.